Okay, now I'm Sleeping Yeti, and this is Tactile Sensation of the Week. I used to do I may still do, a Twitter series called Tactile Sensation of the Day, but to celebrate the release of the new Steam controller, it seemed only appropriate to, Twitter didn't seem right for this. I thought a bit more of a live thing would do. I'm not going to go into whether it's worth the money. I like it, but possibly not for gaming reasons. We'll see. So, the point, I opened it, and I held it, and I realised I just had to analyse the feel of it. It's amazing. If I could find my little LED thing, you can see they've designed it such that there's textured bits of plastic and sort of much smoother bits of plastic here and there. So if you choose to run your finger over it, it gives a nice sense of contrast. I always keep I try to keep a long fingernail or two for this series, because it is very good way of detecting textures for me. So yeah, now this controller might be the most beautiful use of curvature in controller design that I have ever seen. I mean, it beats the Xbox 360 controller, which I did love. Initially, I thought it was odd that the control thing curves towards your hand rather than away from it. But that makes perfect sense when you actually hold the thing. It results in the angle of these things relative to your thumbs being just very nice. They push in a good direction. The clicking has the right amount of force for these touchpads. It just feels right. The analog stick is convex, as opposed to the Xbox 360's more concave ones. And if I can bring it close to the camera, sorry, I might get a bit blurry for a sec, it's got a textured border around the outside, so you know if your thumb's about to slip off. Very nice. The buttons are a tiny bit disappointing. So, the push. The good thing is that there's no half push. It's either down or it's up. There is no ambiguity as to whether you are or are not pressing the buttons. You can feel that, but it doesn't feel very satisfying. These are a little better. Now, the triggers and the bumpers, best of seen. These bumpers, pretty standard. The triggers, though, they feel really good. They've got a convex curve, very nice. But here's the really clever thing. You pull, and then there's a little click at the end. So you can easily tell whether you are partially depressing the trigger or completely pressing it. And you can map those to different functions. You can, for example, pull the trigger light, so I'm trying to rotate this, but pull the trigger lightly to aim, completely to actually fire, is one possible thing in a shooting game. Don't know if I'd use that myself, but it's an example. This cross was more effective than I thought at feeling where you were on the thing, if you want to use it for D-pad emulation. Coming back to feeling where you are, one thing you can't quite see in just images of these things, or even videos, easily, is the fact that they are, and I think just all touchpads should be like this, it's very subtly concave. You can maybe see in the way it reflects the light a little bit, but I'm going to try and demonstrate with this laser pen, if I can. This isn't going to be easy. Let's see. To give you an example, if I take a convex surface and shine a laser pen across it, as I move the laser pen up and down, it goes on from the edge to the centre, and then, the beam goes off onto my other hand. But with a concave surface, if I do it right, there should be... There, see the difference? You can see... Yeah, as I move the laser pen up and down, the opposite sort of happens. So this curves inward. Easily inward enough for you to subconsciously perceive where your thumb is. So that's very, very nice. So yeah, this controller's a bit weird, but on the whole I rather like it. But now we're going to get to the cool thing, the haptic feedback. So let's turn this thing on. Now, so let's launch a game. Let's see, what's a game that would work? I am just going to pick, what I've got. Bear with me. So, yeah. Actually, I might have to mute the sound. There we are. Now, it's on, and it's currently configured for WASD mode. I.e., this will emulate W, A, S, and D. But you have a problem, an old problem. You've got an analog input being used to simulate digital inputs. The solution, and this is where the haptic feedback comes in, it very subtly vibrates when it's changing from one key to the next. Just beautiful. So you can, and if you can always tell whether you are or are not giving the thing input. You can feel that very subtle click. It's more like a click than a vibration. This controller's vibration technology does not work like other controllers. It's much better. So you can feel a very slight click underneath the thumb. As I rotate around, I feel 8 clicks in all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Telling me when I'm about to basically change a direction under that input. This simulates the mouse. I don't know if you can hear the clicking. I'm going to bring it very close and see if you can hear it. And my favourite of all, this emulates mouse clicking, so... Now that doesn't happen when it's off. That's not mechanical clicking. That is haptic feedback clicking to tell you that the trigger is depressed enough for it to feel the input. So you can tell through this feedback whether you're inputting something. It's amazing. The sensation under the thumb is like nothing I can easily describe. It doesn't feel like vibration. It feels more like clicking, as if you're rubbing it over a surface that magically clicks as you go over it. That's not a metaphor at all. That's like the worst simile ever. It is like itself. Yeah. So what I feel when I do this is something between a clicking and a tingling. It's as if there's something. Okay. I feel like I felt a similar sensation before. Like if there were a thin sheet under which was some gel or sand or something. Something creasy or plasticky. Not bubble wrap, maybe spent bubble wrap. Best I can do. But yeah. And yeah, along this direction, it curves away. Very nice. Obviously, the rear is pretty good. Oh, yes. These things are depressible, so this thing clicks by mechanical tension in the thing itself. This thing's also a battery cover. So yeah, you can. That's good. If you like to hold your controller like this with both index and middle fingers here, they're a bit impractical. You can't really click them without like getting a cramp. But if, like me, you tend to hold it like this and only use the top bumpers when you have to, then these things around here are very practical and very useful. Yeah, I'm not going to say I like this controller for every single game on Steam, but okay, let's face it, I bought this not thinking I don't care whether it's actually any good for gaming purposes. I just want to feel it. And I have done this. I don't think any of you can deny that I have done this. I have experienced the feel of the thing, and on those grounds alone, I love it. Yeah. So, if you're the sort of person that likes to buy controllers and not actually play any games with them, it's the best controller ever made. As for gaming, yeah, there are a few things I like. playing with it better than other input devices, but, you know, like I said, I don't even care about that detail. Exit game. Confirm. Yeah. So, that wraps that up. If you want a more in-depth review of how this works as a gaming input device, I'm sure videos of that nature, or reviews about that, will be flooding YouTube soon enough. You don't need that from me. But yeah, from me, you just get the feel of the thing. Literally. So, come back next week for hopefully another interesting thing to touch, and yeah. I'm not very good at wrapping up videos, so bye.